Hi everyone, welcome back to Neon Kandi. It is your girl Candace. I am the owner of Neon Kandi, and today we are going to be doing a more behind the scenes on creating another product. And today's product is actually going to be on lip scrubs. I'm really excited to do this. This is something that I wanted to add to the collection for a while now, and I just decided to go ahead and create these now rather than later. We're going to dive in on what products I actually purchased. We're going to talk about what you guys on Instagram have actually requested to create. And then we're going to talk about why I got them, how we're going to package them, what ingredients are going to go in, and all that jazz. So if you would like to see how I created these lip scrubs and what's going on within this product, then go ahead and stay tuned. Alright, so as you guys can tell, this scenery and the way I look is completely different. This is how your girl looks like on a normal day. Today is Saturday. It is the 21st of September and it is around 11 o'clock in the morning. And I'm so excited to really do this because it is something that I think really goes well with our lip glosses. Having complementary products like this is definitely a good benefit, as well as showcasing you guys what you can do for lip care and making sure that your lips are on point. I do want to point out that so before we dive in, I really want to just get into a little confusion that I may have not really explained very well on my Instagram polls, and I'll make sure. But I had actually asked you guys if you like either a grainy or a more fine lip scrub, and a lot of people actually chose grainy, and then one particular person, Nick, hi Nick, she pointed out that she didn't understand that because of course they're grainy, they're lip scrubs, and in my standpoint, I didn't really explain it very well, so that's my bad to you guys. But this is what I meant when I said grainy, and this is what I also meant when it came to fine. This is what I mean by a more grainy lip scrub. This lip scrub in particular has a lot of coarse, like really raw sugar in it. It also has other things in it that makes it a little bit more harsher than it would normally be. And when I tried this out, it literally ripped my skin off, and it would like left like more of bad after effects than what I actually wanted when you do a lip scrub. So for me, like, I didn't want to have this type of harshness, and I also want these lip scrubs to be edible for you guys. So if you guys do get them inside your lips, it's okay to eat it. This one is not at all okay to eat. It's a nice lip scrub, I will say this, but at the same time, I can't eat it. It's too harsh. It's too intense. There's other things going on in this scrub that makes it not able to eat or really not have be too harsh on your lips, and your lips are so delicate. It's such a thin piece of layer, and you really don't want to have so much of it ripped off. Your main intent for lip scrubs is to just maintain and get the dead skin off, not like legit like rip a whole bunch of chunks of your lips off. So this is what I meant when I said green. So this sugar is definitely edible. It's more fine. Affect it's not going to affect you at all when you eat it. It's not going to affect your lips. It's way more better on the texture and all that. So this is what I meant when I say I want to create something like this, and I didn't want to create something that was the other product prior to. So that was my mistake. I'm not really explaining it very well, but that's exactly what I meant on the difference of the two. So now that we got that cleared up, let's go ahead and move on to what you guys actually chose for the type of lip scrubs. I put a poll out for you guys if you like certain things, and lavender, birthday cake, pumpkin spice, and sugar cookie. And no one really wanted the sugar cookie. No one really wanted, no one really wanted the sugar cookie, and the lavender really came close to the pumpkin. So for the winners of this round, we're going to be doing birthday cake, pumpkin spice, and this is the one I want to bring in, is cotton candy. I thought cotton candy would be a little fun to do. It's a mixture of the two different kinds, and that's actually what we're going to be working on today. Because I wanted to have the lip scrubs to be edible, I do want them to actually taste good as well. The pumpkin spice is going to be more of ingredients that I'm going to be adding in from the kitchen, so it makes it more natural and more vibrant as far as the holiday season goes. But for the birthday cake and the cotton candy, those are ones you just don't have that in the kitchen like that. So I went ahead and found a company that sells them as a flavor. So we have both the cotton candy flavor, and then we also have the birthday cake here. So I'm really excited to try out these. I actually haven't like opened them or anything like that. We're going to be doing that together, especially with the cotton candy. Okay, so one of the things I really wanted to have with the lip scrubs is to continue on with the nourishment on adding on ingredients for taking care of the lips, because honestly the lips, in my opinion, are, besides the brows, probably one of the most important things ever. For me, they're more important because they are really the main focus point. They're in the center part of your face, and I love my juicy lips, so I want to make sure that you guys have nice juicy lips as well. To continue on with me adding the important ingredients, we're definitely going to be adding in the vitamin E. Definitely going to be adding the vitamin E to all of the lip scrubs. And I do also want to advise that all the lip scrubs that you guys are going to be having, I'm going to be making them on the spot. I don't want to make anything like a batch and things like that, because I don't want them to get spoiled or like get nasty. Like when you guys orders come in, I'm going to be making them fresh for you guys, so you know that they're actually created right then and there, and they're not been sitting on the shelf, or any of the debacles like Jaclyn Hill or Kylie Cosmetics, when people been getting their lipsticks and there's like mold and stuff like that. So no bueno on those things. I want to make sure that these lip scrubs are actually something that are freshly made and you guys are getting the fresh batch. So with my prior behind the scenes video, you guys saw me use these containers as far as what I wanted to use as a highlighter. Now, because I honestly have been stuck on the highlighters, and I decided that if we're going to do lip scrubs, I put it to you guys on a vote as well. And you guys did not want the small container, you guys wanted the medium size. And so this is what we're going to be using. For the coloring of the cotton candy, we are going to be using some gel food coloring. These are the gel food coloring, and we're going to be using this today. And I know typically when you see cotton candy, it's like a blue and pink, but I kind of want to be a little bit different. This is Neon Kandi, and I'm going to be changing the cotton candy to a K to match with the branding. And for sure, we're going to be using the pink. I mean, why wouldn't we? But I think as far as the other color goes, as far as neon green, maybe we'll have my oldest pick it. So I'm making lip scrubs. So I'm going to be making lip scrubs for the brand, okay? And the kind that I'm making right now on film is cotton candy. Okay, so when you think of cotton candy, obviously you think of pink, but what is the other color you think of?
Blue, green.
So we're doing pink and purple.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Is that all?
That's it. I just wanted someone to pick the colors. Thank you for picking the colors. So per Isaiah, we are going to be using purple, and per me, we're going to be using pink. So these are going to be the two colors for the cotton candy. Then we're going to also be using sugar for the raw. And we're also going to be adding some fine sugar, but that's downstairs, and we'll bring all the food up to you when I'm ready. And we're also going to be using some unrefined coconut oil, because I saw a couple recipes for this, and I'm just like, and then again, we're using the cotton candies. So I'm going to open this real quick and see. Oh my God, that literally smells like cotton candy. Holy Toledo, Batman. That literally brings me back to like a festival and like carnival. Like for sure, this smells like cotton candy. Like for sure. So we're going to be using that. And that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to clean up this area so that we can start doing what we need to do. I like to sterilize everything. I like to make sure that the surface that I'm using is clean. We're going to triple wash my hands, put gloves on. Even though this is for me, I want to make sure that even though I'm touching other stuff, like it doesn't get contaminated, you know what I mean? So we're going to be doing that. And then we'll make, once we get the actual thing that we like, the actual like, the product is coming alive, we're going to then package it in the container, and then that's going to be what we use for product shots and things like that. So let's get to cleaning, and then let's add some more things up here so we are all taken care of. And yeah, so you're going to see me do all this stuff now. So let's roll the B-roll.
Alright fam, so basically what I'm doing is I am going in and I'm cleaning off the surface of the table. I'm sanitizing it, I'm cleaning off with bleach, and then I'm going on top of that with some alcohol just to really clean off the surface as I'm going to be creating these products. And then once I have everything completed on the cleaning standpoint, I'm going to go ahead and lay everything out on top, and I use a paper towel just to keep the sanitation on top of that. And we're going to dive into the different combinations of the lip scrubs. I'm going to go ahead and start off with option number 1. We're putting in the ingredients and seeing how they work out. And we're basically repeating those same steps but then different combinations. Number 2 option is basically the same, but this one has glycerin. Option number 3 is just fine sugar. And then option number 4 is just raw sugar. And within those 4 options, I also have different measurements for the vitamin E, coconut oil, and glycerin, as well as having the same amount of drops for the flavoring. And then for the coloring, I'm testing it out. The only one that I had real issues with is option number 1, which had the purple in it, and the purple I had to add more of the drops for coloring because the purple was just a little too hard to mix in. But other than that, that's exactly what I did, and hope you guys enjoy this b-roll here.
Alright guys, so hi, I'm back and I apologize that earlier everything kind of went to a voiceover. Little one went down for his nap and I didn't want to be too loud talking as we're doing all this kind of stuff. So I wanted to bring you guys back in to do a wrap up and just give you my final notes on the things that I found out and my notes that I put in from doing the whole scrubs. First intention wasn't to actually create all three of them, but then once I got going and I kind of had an idea of how I wanted the actual textures to go, I decided to actually go ahead and do the pumpkin spice and the birthday cake too. But before we get there, let's just wrap it up with the cotton candy. So this one is number one. This is this is the purple one. And this one was actually the half and half of the fine and raw sugar, and then this one did not have any glycerin in it, and this one just had the coconut oil and vitamin E, and then the drops for flavoring, and then the gel for coloring. My thoughts on this one was actually pretty good. I Did not like the fact that the purple took forever to stir and it took a very long time to actually really disperse it. And then I had to add more to it than what my intention was. So it's a little bit darker than how I wanted it to be, but at the same time, it's not too bad of a dark at the same time. So then we have number 2, which is the green one. The only difference with this one is that glycerin was added to this mixture. And honestly, the mixture of this one wasn't too bad. I will say that it is more of a creamy dry texture, whereas this one was kind of more of a drier texture. So that does tell me that the glycerin is giving it more of a moisture base to it, which is exactly what I want. So when I saw that happening, I kind of understood that I do want to have glycerin added onto the scrubs, because again, the main point of a scrub is to remove the dead skin, but also to help nourish and grow, or help promote healthy new cells and give you those nice fluffy juicy lips. This is number number 3 of the mixture. This one had just the fine sugar. This one had the same amount of glycerin and vitamin E, the drops, and the coloring was actually the best. Out of all 3, mixing the coloring for the cotton candy, the pink one was the easiest to mix. And after it's been sitting down though, like you can tell the amount of coconut oil that I put into it made it too wet, and that's not what I want. I don't want it to be extremely wet. If I were to use this recipe, I need to make sure that I use less coconut oil and making sure that it's more of a pasty, but not too pasty, if you know what I mean. Like I really want it to be like half and half, like a nice combination of everything. So that was number 3. And then for the last cotton candy, we have just the raw sugar. And this one has too much coconut oil as well. The same amount of glycerin and vitamin E was added to the mixture. It's just this one is in its sense is just more raw sugar. Now the texture of it was actually pretty good. I was not mad at how the raw wasn't too raw. It wasn't too coarse. It didn't make me feel like I couldn't use this by itself on just one particular. So the only thing again that I say that made me be like, oh, I did too much of that, but it's a good notion to know like how I want it to be, is that it was just too much of the coconut oil, and I don't want that. Okay. But you know, for a first round of making these, it's actually not bad at all, and I'm actually pretty proud of myself and how the combinations I found are the best. I do want to mention that the glycerin that I added is pure vegetable based, and the coconut oil I add is unrefined. Those are the ones that are good and great for skin. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. I hope this isn't too long. I feel like it's going to be long, but this product, these are all going to be vegan, cruelty free. They're also going to be paraben free and gluten free. So everything on here is definitely homemade, DIY, healthy, non-toxic. You saw everything that got put into this. So I really want you guys to know that these are going to be really healthy and really great for your skin on a natural basis. And so yeah, I'm going to stop rambling on. I do appreciate you guys' love and support on taking the time and watching me create these products on behind the scenes. And again, thank you so much for voting and participating on creating this, because I'm creating this for you. So thank you so much again. I will catch you guys at the next one, and peace.